Since early in human history, gold has always been considered a valuable asset and has had a great influence on human life and development. And because it is considered so important, the journey to find and exploit gold is also very difficult. Did you know that to create just 1929 ounces of gold, humans have to crush more than a ton of rock, dig deep into the ground, mine, grind ore, and refine chemicals, just to find a few metal particles smaller than the tip of a fingernail? Not only that, today we will explain the reasons that answer the question, why is gold so expensive? Why is a small, not too rare metal so expensive that the whole world is fighting for it? Because it is used in almost every area of life. The largest is still jewelry and art. Gold is recognized as a symbol of status, wealth, and stored value. Specifically, India and China account for more than 50% of the world's gold jewelry demand each year. The Great Buddha statue in Thailand, Golden Buddha 2125, 41 Lulbi, is made of solid gold, and civilizations from Egypt, Maya, to Rome all used gold as a symbol of power. Next is electronics, devices that everyone uses every day. Every smartphone, laptop, TV, smart TV, tablet, and computer chip uses a super thin gold plating layer to increase durability and ensure stable signals. In medicine, gold is used to make dentures, implants, and nanogold. Gold is also a safe asset held in reserve by countries and central banks. The United States has the largest gold reserves in the world, 793,000 pounds, mainly at Fort Knox. So why is gold, despite its high price, used in so many areas of life? Let's find the answer. First of all, let's talk about history. Gold was not born on Earth. It appeared billions of years before the planet was formed in neutron-star collisions. Cosmic events so violent that they created the heaviest elements. When two old stars collapsed into each other, the tremendous energy threw billions of gold particles into space, drifting in cosmic dust, then merging with the matter that formed Earth. Therefore, every gold grain lying in the ground today is actually a legacy of the ancient universe. Humans discovered gold very early. Archaeologists found gold objects more than 6,000 years old in the Balkans. But it was the ancient Egyptians who elevated gold to the ultimate symbol. They believed that gold was the flesh of Ra, the immortal light of the sun, the absolute power of the pharaoh. Initially, gold appeared in rituals, worship, masks, statues of gods, and burial objects for kings. It was then that civilizations like Lydia, Mesopotamia, and Greece converted gold into currency, standardizing the first coins in history. From that moment, gold entered the role it has played to this day: power, value, and immortality. Physically, gold has a density of 1186 pounds per cubic foot, so heavy that even a small block feels as solid as power. It has a melting point of N64 degrees C, does not oxidize, does not rust, does not tarnish over time. Chemically, gold is almost absolutely inert, one of the very few metals that is not corroded by the environment. Mechanically, gold is so soft that it can be drawn into a thread thinner than a strand of hair, or rolled into a sheet 1,000 times thinner than a sheet of paper. It is this trio of properties that makes it unique, both eternally durable, easy to shape, and perfectly conductive. Imagine, silver conducts electricity better, but is easily tarnished and corroded. Copper is cheap, but degrades quickly. A single gold thread can conduct a tiny current in a smartphone for years without any deterioration. That is why the electronics, medical, and even aerospace industries consider gold as an irreplaceable metal. When most people think of gold, they think of jewelry, currency, or accumulated wealth. But the truth is that today's modern world cannot function without it. Its applications range from electronics, medicine, defense, to aerospace technology, and each industry relies on special properties that almost no other metal can replace. In the electronics industry, gold acts as the perfect signal carrier. A small amount of gold is in your smartphone, just approximately 0.0158 ounces, but it determines the stability of microchips and contact points. Gold never rusts, does not tarnish, does not oxidize, and can maintain extremely small currents for many years without degradation. Important devices such as computers, servers, industrial cameras, and navigation systems all use it. Without gold, the lifespan of electronic components would be catastrophic. Loose connections, circuit failures, signal loss, and global information systems could collapse due to too much rust. In medicine, gold is considered a perfectly safe material. It is hypoallergenic, does not react with biological environments, and does not corrode. Therefore, it is used in dentistry, fillings, crowns, implants, in medical implants, and in advanced diagnostic equipment. In particular, nanogold is opening a new era when it is used in cancer therapy, helping to destroy malignant cells by generating heat when exposed to light. If gold were eliminated from the medical industry, dozens of important treatment technologies and devices would not exist. In defense, gold is used in radar, navigation systems, sensors, and military equipment that requires high durability in harsh environments. Gold's chemical inertness makes it work reliably in hot deserts, salty seas, or extremely low temperatures, conditions where copper, silver, or aluminum fail. But most importantly, gold is the heart of the space industry. When a spacecraft leaves Earth, every component must function perfectly for years without the possibility of repair. Gold acts as a heat-reflecting coating on satellites, protecting equipment from solar radiation, and ensuring that circuits operate reliably in the vacuum of space. Without gold, all the GPS, telecommunications, and meteorological satellites, things that humanity depends on every day, would completely disappear. In everyday life, gold is still present in more subtle ways in phones, computers, bank cards, jewelry, offerings, and even in decorative art. It is a symbol of luxury, but also a material that makes the world run. And why is gold irreplaceable? It is simple. There is no other metal that is as durable, conducts electricity well, is soft to shape, does not corrode, and is safe for the body as gold. What it does, copper cannot, silver cannot, platinum is too hard and too expensive for widespread use. Gold possesses all the characteristics of an ideal currency. It is scarce, decentralized and outside the control of any third party, and fungible, meaning it can be divided into units of different sizes to facilitate trading. In addition, it is more portable than silver, as it packs a lot of value into a small package, with an ounce of gold currently worth about $400. That is why the world cannot do without it, and probably never will. If you could cast all the gold ever mined into standard approximately 27.558 pounds bars, you would need only about 12 container trucks to carry it all, just 12. An asset that the world sees as a symbol of power, money, and immortality. In fact, so little that a small convoy of trucks could carry it all, while production is only growing by about 1 to 2% per year. Demand is growing much faster. Central banks hoard gold as a hedge against inflation. Investors seek gold when markets are volatile. Loss of confidence in the banking system. The electronics, medical, defense, aerospace industries are consuming more and more gold. This gap creates a supply-demand bottleneck that makes it difficult for gold prices to fall. Gold is scarce because most of the large, easily mined reserves have been mined for centuries. New mines are getting deeper, poorer in ore, and require huge costs to operate. To get a few grams of gold, you have to destroy a whole mountain, operate hundreds of tons of machinery, process chemicals, and refine the ore in many stages. Energy, labor, transportation, environmental costs all increase continuously, pushing up prices. The global gold supply chain is also full of risks. Mines are concentrated in South Africa, China, Russia, Peru, places with political instability, export restrictions, or strong fluctuations in mining costs. When a country tightens production or faces a crisis, the whole world market immediately fluctuates. And because gold serves so many industries, from currency, jewelry, investment to electronics and space, a national competition is increasingly fierce. Everyone wants to collect gold as an independent asset. Natural scarcity, huge mining costs, a multi-industry demand, global competition. Gold prices are not only high, but also very difficult to reduce. For thousands of years, gold has almost never lost its real value. An ounce of gold in Roman times could buy a high-end suit of armor. Today, an ounce of gold can still buy a luxury suit. History shows that gold does not always increase in value, but its ability to retain its purchasing power is almost absolute. However, gold is not a perfect asset. It has periods of strong volatility, especially when financial markets fall into panic or when interest rates rise. Gold investors often expect stability, but in reality, gold prices still fluctuate according to economic cycles and speculative psychology. Gold's greatest strength lies in its role as a hedge, a shield against inflation, war, and currency crisis. It does not depend on any country or system, and that is why central banks always quietly accumulate gold whenever risks increase. But gold also has risks. It does not create cash flow, has high storage costs, and is susceptible to short-term speculation. So if you ask whether gold is a good investment, the answer is that it depends on your goals. If you want to see rapid appreciation, gold is not suitable. But if you want to keep your assets safe for decades, very few things do better than gold. From the collisions of neutron-stars billions of years ago, to the first human hands touching the glittering metal in ancient riverbeds, gold has always been with us. It has traveled through space science, entered the history of empires, become a pillar of modern economics, and then appeared in the very technological devices that shape future civilizations. Not many materials on Earth have had such a long journey. A metal that is both a relic of the stars, a measure of power, a foundation of currency, and today becomes a component of satellites, probes, and pioneering technologies. This thing has accompanied mankind since the beginning, and will surely go further. But the final question is still up to you. With all these stories, all these roles, does gold deserve to hold the position of the most valuable metal on the planet? And in your assets, does gold have a place? This is just a small part of the myriad of reasons that answer the question of why gold. Why is it so expensive? If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what topic you would like me to cover in the next video. See you next time.